Hello everyone, Benji-Sales here, and thank you for joining me for my Microsoft E3 Xbox predictions / preview video. I'm really excited to dive into this one because I think that of all of the E3 conferences we're going to get this year, I think this is by far the biggest and the most important, and there's one really big reason for that. I'm pretty much positive that we are going to get Microsoft announcing their next-gen platform plans. Now, whether that means we're going to actually see the hardware itself and Microsoft announcing the name of this system, I don't know about all of that, but I definitely feel very, very, very confident that they are going to go on stage and at the very least give us a brief overview, maybe a little bit of specs info since PlayStation's already put some of that out there anyways, and just give us a real rundown on kind of what we can expect for their general plans for next generation. So just to kick that off, that is not going to be part of my predictions for this video that I make just because I think it's kind of obvious that it is going to be there. So let's start this off. I ran a poll on Twitter, and after about 400 votes, I asked you what you're most excited to see at this show. 11% of you said you're most excited to see updates on Gears and Halo, right? We have new entries in those franchises on the way, so 11% of you are most excited to see that. 43% of you said you're most excited to see the next-gen Xbox reveal, and that is the winner of the poll. 39% of you said you're most excited to just see new game announcements, which is actually very close, right? 43% to 39% came down to the wire. At a lot of the time, those two were actually completely tied. And 7% of you said you're most excited to see Microsoft talk about updates on their services, right? Game Pass, xCloud, things like that. So yeah, that is the poll. I want to include some of your comments that you listed as well, just because I always want to make sure your voices are heard in my videos and not just me. I like this to be interactive. A lot of you said you're also excited to see stuff like Ori. I'm really excited to see that as well. That game looked absolutely amazing from the little bit we've seen, and the first one was awesome. Some people were saying they were really excited to see Microsoft talk more about, PC, what they're going to be doing on the PC platform. So lots of different stuff here. In regards to my predictions for this video, I'm not going to be predicting super obvious stuff like, hey, Halo and Gears are going to be there, because we all know that they're going to be there anyways. So there's no point in me wasting a prediction on that. It's going to be stuff that I think is a little bit more interesting, a little bit more out there, and to be honest, some of this completely may not happen. Just a last word on this before I start my predictions: none of this is insider info, none of this is leaks. This is just me completely guessing at the type of stuff we are going to see in the show. So for prediction number 1, I am going to predict that we're finally going to see Fable 4. Or, it may end up just being called Fable, because I think there is a real chance that they go that way, considering this is probably going to be sort of a reboot for the franchise. Now, this has been rumored that Playground has been making this game for years now. They've been building an entire second team from the ground up, working on an action RPG franchise, and it's kind of well known behind the scenes, at least from all of the rumors, that this is them reinvigorating the Fable franchise. Now, if you're not familiar with Playground, they are the team that makes the Forza Horizon games, which are absolutely incredible, both in terms of visuals as well as gameplay. So we're talking about an extremely talented studio. And I've always loved the Fable franchise, right? 1 through 3 at least. They've always had lots of issues. These are by no means perfect games, but they're very unique, right? In a sea of games that we see that are often so similar, Fable really had its own identity. And while it didn't ever, fully capitalize on the dream of what that franchise could have been, I just always loved its charm, its humor, its visual style, and I think it is a perfect property to bring out for next gen. I do think that this is going to be part of their reveal of their next gen platform, because this is a next generation title. I don't think you're going to see a giant blowout on this game, more like a small tease. I think they are going to show just like a snippet of in-game gameplay just to kind of show you what the next-gen console is capable of. So don't expect some sort of massive blowout if this game does end up being here. But yeah, I'm excited. This is going to be the kind of game that makes me rush out day one and buy a next-generation Xbox. For prediction number 2, I do think Microsoft is going to announce either the acquisition or the creation of a new first-party studio. Now, if you notice, I put studio, not studios, plurally, because I think it's going to be one. I don't think we're going to get like a huge, multi-studio announcement like we got last E3, right? I think they've already acquired quite a few, and they're not necessarily looking to get 10 more new studios, but I do think they're going to, it could be another ground up creation like the initiative is going to be, or it might be them buying one, but I do think they're going to come out on stage and again, as we build up towards next gen, announce that there is someone else joining the Microsoft family. They still need lots of first party content to fill out Game Pass to make sure they're getting lots of subscribers to that, and their first party has been lacking for a long time in terms of just volume compared to someone like Sony or Nintendo, with high quality first party studios. They are doing everything they can to turn that around and really grow the Microsoft family. So yep, just one. Don't think you're getting more than that, but I do predict we see a new studio. Prediction number 3, and what I think is definitely my most chew-in guaranteed prediction for this event, is I think we're going to see a blowout, a massive showing of Cyberpunk 2077. Now, CD Projekt Red and Microsoft have a long and very tight-knit business relationship with each other, dating all the way back to Witcher 2 coming out on the Xbox 360 and Cyberpunk debuting on Microsoft's stage last E3 as their big closer. I think this is a literal guarantee. They've already said that, CD Projekt has said that Cyberpunk will be at this E3, that it's an incredibly important event for them. So I expect this right on the Microsoft stage. It's not going to be a small showing. This isn't going to be some 2-minute trailer. This is going to be a blowout. I think you're going to get that night gameplay, right? Everyone wanted. One thing that some people were kind of disappointed in the original reveal was that it was so daylight. People wanted to see that more Blade Runner rainy night showing, and CD Projekt explained why they did that. They wanted to prove that you could do the cyberpunk aesthetic during the daytime, that it didn't just have to be the stereotypical nighttime, look, that noir look, but I do think we're going to get that here. I think they're going to give you that neon-soaked, rainy gameplay, and this is my most anticipated game, period. Out of every single game that is announced or even rumored, anyone that has followed me for a while knows I used to always rock a Geralt avatar. I'm a big fan of CD Projekt Red's work, and Cyberpunk just looks absolutely incredible. So I don't think this is going to be their closer. I think Microsoft's going to close with something else this year, but expect to see a giant Cyberpunk showing. Prediction number 4, and I'm going to keep this one brief, but expect to see a lot of Microsoft talking about how they're going to evolve their services moving forward, right? This is a company that is a service-focused one in general in Microsoft. That's really their bread and butter, and they're just going to keep focusing on building that up. They've had so much success, really, with this generation, that out of some of the mistakes they've made and some of the misfires they've had, the one thing that really stands out, like, hey, Microsoft, even their detractors have to admit that with services, they've really been doing fantastic with Game Pass, backwards compatibility, it goes on and on. So I expect to see an evolution of that. They're obviously going to be talking about xCloud a lot, and when I talk about an evolution, I don't just mean they're going to come on stage and say, hey, here's 10 new games coming to Game Pass. I think that service is going to grow. I think it's going to be, maybe we see something like different tiers of it, or maybe we see something like, I'm not sure, maybe some sort of integration between xCloud and Game Pass. I'm not sure the exact specifics, but I definitely think you are going to see them really dive in on that. I don't think this is going to be like the entire show, but expect to hear a ton of how those services are going to change and grow moving forward. Prediction number 5, and my final prediction, is that Ninja Theory is going to announce a brand new IP. Now again, this is a pretty safe one out of my list because Phil has basically said / hinted that Ninja Theory is going to be there in some capacity at this E3. and it's got to be a new IP. I don't think it's going to be a Hellblade sequel. I don't think it's going to be something based off one of their previous properties, Enslaved or anything like that. I think this is going to be a brand new IP. What type of game it's going to be, there's been some rumors about it being a multiplayer focused game. I don't have any idea if any of that is real or if it's something completely different from what the rumor was, but expect that there, which is going to be pretty awesome, really exciting. That's going to be a current gen game, I believe. I don't think that's something for next gen, so that's something that people with Xboxes right now can get excited about. People that own an Xbox One or an Xbox One X, that's something you're going to see on your current hardware. I'm pretty much positive of that. So expect that game. I don't think this year. It is possible, of course, but I don't think so. I think it's going to come out next year. But yeah, definitely Ninja Theory, new IP announcement. And that is going to wrap up my Microsoft Xbox E3 predictions. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Let me know if you think I'm crazy, if you think some of these predictions are actually going to happen down in the comments below. As always, I'm Benji-Sales. Make sure you follow me on Twitter if you don't already. That's the best way to get a hold of me. If you ever want to talk about games or anything in the industry, I usually really focus on stuff like sales and how the overall gaming industry is doing. But I also, just talk about games in general because, hey, I have a huge passion and love it. If you liked the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. It helps me out. It helps the channel out so much. And as always, thank you so much for watching, everyone. I'll have a bunch more coverage for E3 coming around the event itself. I'm going to be doing, live reactions to the conferences. I'm going to have a few buddies over too so I can bounce some thoughts off of them. So, for the first time, my YouTube video will not be just me. There's going to be some other people there as well. And we'll do some recaps of the shows, some reviews, and as always, I'll try to put a sales spin on all of it. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you in the next video.